The city of Toronto is broke, but not so broke that they can't rename Dundas Street. Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. It's amazing to watch. Mayor Olivia Chow came out before the three-day council meeting started and made a very strong case that the city needs help. They need help from other levels of government. She praised the deal that she got with Ontario Premier Doug Ford, but said the federal government needs to step up as well. There's the refugee influx that's clogging up Toronto's shelters. And while she estimates that that's going to cost $240 million in the coming year, the feds have only offered up $99 million. She said to cover that, they're going to have to increase property taxes dramatically by 6-7% unless the feds step up. Then there's the new subway cars that the city needs and they can't afford, and they want the federal government to step up and say they will help with the funding of that. So she was making the case pretty well that the city's broke.
As you know, the City of Toronto is facing a massive budget deficit. We can't legally run a deficit. Our shelter costs have skyrocketed, and we have asked the federal government to support us, to help us pay the bills. We've already paid most of the bills this year.
So why then is she still determined to go ahead with renaming Dundas Street? This is something that was put forward several years ago. It's been studied, but guess what? This city simply doesn't have the money. One estimate is that it's going to cost $12 million for the city's portion alone, never mind the cost to businesses and to residents along one of the biggest streets in the country. So why is she going ahead with it? She is determined, she said, to follow through on this.
Opening remarks, where do you stand on spending money to rename libraries, Yonge Dundas Square and Dundas Street right across Toronto? And
when the motion is ready, I will be supporting this motion. It's been, I've been working very closely with the committee and the councillor. I don't want to preempt the councillor because it is in his writing, and the motion will be coming forward. There's a series of recommendations in it.
This makes zero sense from a fiscal point of view. We can have a difference of opinion politically. We can have a difference of opinion on the history of who Henry Dundas was and what his legacy is, and I think the city's wrong on this. But what it really comes down to is, can we afford it? And if we're going to rename a street named after Henry Dundas, a man who actually did get slavery abolished through his actions, not the opposite, if we're going to rename a street named after him, well, what about George Young, a man who actually brought slaves into South Africa after it was banned? What about the 60-odd other names that city officials have looked at and said, these names are problematic as well based on the current lens of looking at history? The city can't do all of these things. So we would just simply have to give up providing basic services if that was the case. So why is Mayor Chow so determined on this? Why is the progressive wing of City Council willing to engage in a $12 million virtue signal while telling you you can't have basic services because they don't have the money? Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below. Share this on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.